episode of Real Aussie Adventures. Last night was wild because there was something outside of the tent the whole night, and Jacob woke me up a few times going, "It's out there." I heard it walk across the floor of the tent or the floor of the car, and it's out there in the bushes, and you know, you're sitting there kind of like getting yourself all riled up. And being in the Kimberleys, we've heard some stories, like local culture stories of spirits and things, so you're kind of like, maybe it's one of those, or maybe it's a kangaroo, maybe it's an emu, I don't know. So that was a little bit exciting and kind of frightening and made it hard to go back to sleep. But anyway, we survived. Don't know what it was. There was a big sign saying wild dog bait, so it could have even been a wild dog. But it didn't sound like a wild dog. It sounded like a two-legged animal or creature or something. Anyway, that happened. We survived the night, and now we're headed onwards to El Questro, which is a little slight detour, which we're headed to via word of mouth. And ideally we'll make it in time for some hot springs and more gorge walking. So yeah, that is the plan of today. We made it into El Questro, had a bite to eat, checked out the local swimming spot for the campsites, and now we're going to go for a little wander around the actual rest of the place and maybe check out where we're going to be staying later on today, pop on some washing and just enjoy ourselves really. We're here for the next 2 days. Wasn't going to be the plan, but ended up being the case, and I look forward to spending some time here. Should be relaxing, should be resting, and there are showers, so I will feel a bit more human again very, very soon. Our first stop, official stop for the El Questro range, or El Questro Station, is Zebedee Springs. It's actually a hot spring here, so I'm going to go for a little half-an-hour walk and then have a nice swim in the springs. I'm hoping that they're going to be warm. Not that I need it to be any warmer, but warm water is always nicer to hop into.
Lunchbox or something.
Oh, thank you. ourselves at Zebedee Springs. Found a nice little pool all to ourselves. So we're enjoying the water. There are really warm spots and there are quite cold spots. Like in here I'd say it's probably like average. But I was down in a section just before. See if I can't angle myself to get a good shot. It was quite warm in there. Nice and warm in that one, but it's not too bad everywhere else. Like, it's a lot warmer than the Carragini Gorges, so I won't complain. There are actually a ton of specimens in this hot spring. Count how many you can see. I've counted at least 5. And the more you look, the more you'll see. But they're everywhere. All over these big fan palms. Some huge nested ones over here. If you can spot them. Try and get a good picture. Just not like, well, there's one huge one. Right there-ish. There's one. But they're everywhere if you know where to look. All I'm going to say is I would hate to be the first person to hop in this every single day, because chances are they probably cover this place overnight. Here, showered, brushed my teeth, ready for bed. I've had a wonderful evening, ended up speaking to some Wyndham locals. They've lived there for about 6 years. Super friendly, super chatty. We talked to them for like a good 3 hours. We ended up sharing a bench with them because there weren't enough seats. So we shared, ended up opening up and having a really great time. Now it's time for bed, and again, trying to get the most out of my toothbrushing. I found the best spot, which is right next to the dryers, to ideally charge up my toothbrush for hopefully the next week and a half, but we'll see. It's kind of really hard having, because that's one of the only things I've got that isn't a car charger, or car charger capable. It's 24 volt, not 12 volt. So that's the hardest thing I've got to charge. Probably without a doubt the most important. Anyway, as the light fades, as I walk away from the toilet block, I will say thanks for tuning in to another episode of Real Aussie Adventures.